Hey there, Taki here. Hope you are ridiculously well. In today's session, I want to teach you some stuff about running webinars that sell, how to structure them, what to say, how to not teach too much, how to teach enough, how to run a webinar that rocks hard and converts like crazy. That's the goal. So I've got 3 things to teach you, and then I just want to walk you through the worksheets that we use to build out a webinar like this. If you want to get a copy, just comment the webinar below and I'll hook you up with the sheets. Is that cool? I think that's cool. So what do we need to know? There's 3 key things which make this structure really work. You can use it either to sell a product or a program or to book a call. Either way is totally fine. And we'll talk about that a bit at the end. So 3 things. The first part is what I call whole, part, whole. One of the tricks to running a webinar well is figuring out, like, what do I teach and what do I leave out? The trick is to leave stuff out, but show that it's there. And if you do that well, then people get a sense of, oh, if I said, hey, there's 5 things you need to know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and today we're going to talk about number 1, and I went deep onto number 1, and then I ended by saying, and remember, there's 5 things you need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you realize we've gone deep here, you realize that there's 4 things missing, and that missing piece is kind of important. If your content was like a pizza, I love pizza. Content was like a pizza with 8 slices. And what we're doing is we're going, hey, this is the whole pizza. And then we zoom into that piece right there. And then we teach that piece and we remind people of the 7 pieces that they're missing. Does that make sense? You'll see it in action as we go through the structure. But I want you to get this idea of whole parts whole. I think it's kind of first big key for doing a piece of content that is super valuable, but makes people want more instead of going, well, that was really useful. Thank you very much. I'm good. Which leads us to the second big idea. And the second big idea here is to get people into the I need help position. They need to understand that, holy crap, staying where I am is not okay. So our whole content is designed to be useful, but useful in a sense of getting people in a position to make a change, not useful in a sense of I'm good and I don't need help. Okay, so our job is to get people into the I need help position. Third big idea here is when you think about the job of the stuff that you teach, the job is really simple. It's not to teach them what they need to know. It's to teach people what to want. You ever see that movie Inception? Yeah, where they could like somehow hack your head while you're asleep and plant ideas in your dreams that then you would wake up and take action on later. That's kind of our job, is to teach people what to want. So our job is to show and tell and ask, that's meant to be a speech bubble, some things which make people think something specific. So if we teach people that they need 123, then we want them at the end of this to go, oh, I want 123. So when you offer, the thing, they're going to be saying, oh, that's exactly what I want. So our job is to teach people what to want and then invite them to take it. Like I said, this is in the webinar walkthrough PDF. If you want to get a copy, just comment webinar below and the team will get you the link to download it. One of the strategies we use with a lot of our clients is a model that we learned from a great friend, Simon Bowen. It's called the Genius Model. And it's really an overview of how do I get the results with you. If I quickly sketched out our job is to help you build a coaching business that can scale so that you get more money. I'm doing a quick version, more meaning, more impact and more freedom. So that's kind of the sweet spot. To make that happen, there's 3 parts of your coaching business that we would work on together. Firstly, the way we attract leads. This is your marketing engine. Secondly, the way we convert prospects into clients. This is your sales engine. And then third, the way you deliver transformation at scale, your delivery engine, right? Your coaching engine. Depending on the webinar, you might say, I want to teach something attract and something convert and maybe something out of the deliver zone. Because we're whole parts wholing, we'll explain that there are these 9 accelerators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we overview and we get people to self-score themselves. They're going to green, yellow, or red their performance, and we'll do that as we go through the process to get them into the I need help position. But we're not going to teach all of them. We just want people to know that all of these things are important and useful and necessary and you need them. But today we've got time to do 3, which says crap, there's more that I don't have. So how do you choose which ones? Well, frankly, you teach the hot, sexy ones. And so if I was thinking about attract, this is fill your funnel, this is warm up your prospects, and this is build authority. Filling your funnel is the hot, sexy one. So that'd be the one that I teach. Does that make sense? So the first part of the webinar introduces the model and overviews, gets people to self-score. And then, so we've showed the whole, and now we're going to zoom into the 3 parts that we've selected. Does that make sense? So let's just take this one here. When we get to how to do that one, we have a content block, and there are 3 content blocks because in a good webinar or a good workshop, we're going to teach 3 things. The model is identical for each of them, so we'll do one to walk you through it, but then you'll get the idea. So we pick a pillar. In this case, it's attract because every coach wants more leads. And the accelerator that we've chosen was fill your funnel. So I'm just going to mark that in up top. So what we do at the start is like, hey, when it comes to attracting leads into your coaching business, there's 3 things you need. And you need to fill your funnel. You need to warm up your prospects, which is kind of your lead nurture piece, basically lead gen, lead nurture, and then build authority. And we're going to talk quickly about each one and get people to score themselves. Am I green? Am I yellow? Am I red? That's a topic for another conversation, but you get the idea. It's like you need these 3 things. Today we're going to zoom into this one right here. Then we've got to get people to want this thing. Remember, our job is to teach people what to want. So how do we get people to want it? We either do a Y stack now, and this is future, and this is happy, good, what I want, and this is bad and sad, what I want to move away from. We just walk people through 3 wants and 1 aspiration, and 3 frustrations and 1 fear. Or we use a red-green model. Like 3% of coaches ever make it to $1 million a year. It's way less than that. Make it to $1 million a year. I'm going to show you how to do it. So, and this would be, most coaches don't make $1 million a year. A tiny percentage do. I'm going to show you what the good ones do. And that's an example of a red-green model, right? It's just a really quickly, don't be in that category, be in this category. So now we've got people kind of thirsty for what we've got. They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Not true. Salt cubes. This little Y stack or red-green model, depending on which one you choose, is like the salt cubes for your content. It gets people to want the stuff. Is this making any sense at all? So then we've got room to teach some points, some like how-to stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach 3 keys. Your job isn't to teach them everything you know, it's to teach them what they need to know to be in a position to make a great decision. So we're going to give them 3 key points about this thing in just the same way that over here, and there's a million things I could teach you about webinars, but today I taught you whole part whole, get people in the I need help position and teach people what to want. And that's 3 is enough. So we're going to teach them 3 keys. Now we get to the juicy fun part. And the juicy fun part is worksheets and case studies and questions. So far we've kind of set the thing up. Now what we're going to do is have a worksheet, some kind of activity that people can do live on the webinar. They're going to fill in some blanks. They're going to answer some questions. They're going to sketch out a funnel or whatever the thing is. And its job is to either inspire, holy crap, this could be amazing, or to get people in that, oh crap, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got holes everywhere. I need help type situation. So we're going to do some kind of activity that gets people to either see what it could look like when it's great, or go, holy crap, and do some kind of diagnosis and realize I need some useful here. Then we're going to teach a case study. And the case study is of one of your clients, or if you don't have a client who's done it, your story, or if you haven't done it yet, somebody else's, but ideally one of those. It's usually going to be a case study of a winner, not a case study of someone who did it wrong, although that's an option. And in the case study, you're going to talk about who they are, usually a slide, introduce them, tell the problem that they had, the impact of said problem on their business and on them personally. And then we're going to go, here's what they did. The overview of the framework that they used, the overview and the actions, and then what's the result, and then the impact of the result to the business and to them personally. Right? So now they've seen it in action. It's not just theory anymore. It's an actual real thing. The question is going to be either an insights and actions, like I might have just taught you this webinar and say, great, what are 3 things you already know that you've been doing wrong and you need to change? Go. And they'll type in everything they've been doing wrong and they need to change, which is putting them over here in the top right-hand side. I need help. Or I might say, if you could implement this in exactly the way I've been teaching, what kind of impact would it make on your business, and how would that help you? I can see if I did this, I'd be in an amazing place, or because I can't do this, I'm in a hard place and something needs to change type piece. So this is an overview of one module in our webinar. And then because a good webinar looks like this, it's got a start, and the start is going to be our overview. And then we've got 3 pieces of content. 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to do this content block that we've just done, once for the first piece of content, 2, 3. And now we get to the invitation. I don't call it an offer, it's an invitation. And the way to make the invitation easy is to get permission up front. And so we get permission for 3 things. Permission for your style, permission for the content, and permission for the invitation. And so the style might be, depending on your style, hey, I'm going to speak quickly with an Australian accent for the next hour or so. Please don't ask me to slow down. I'll just ask you to listen fast. I'm going to give you everything I can in the time we've got. So you're good with that? And they'll be like, yep, that sounds great. Cool. So I got permission for my style. I don't have to be uncomfortable or awkward about my starter or my accent or my whatever. Number 2, permission for the content. Today we're going to teach you ABC, XYZ. It's going to help you with da-da-da. Is that okay? Yes, cool. 3rd, permission for the invitation. I'm going to give you everything I can in the time we've got. But time's short. I'm going to give you everything I can in the time we've got. And at the end, I'll show you a system where you can take everything we cover and install it into your business so you get results even faster. Is that okay? So I've just asked if it's okay to show people a system to implement the stuff. And at the end, I'll say, hey, at the start today, I said I was going to give you everything I could in the time we've got. And at the end, I'll show you a system where you can take everything we've covered and install it into your business to get results even faster. Remember that? Yes. Okay, that's what we're going to do right now. And so I don't feel like I'm selling. I feel like I'm keeping a promise that I made to you at the start. So whether you're selling a product or you're selling a next step call, we use the 6 magic pills. So the 6 magic pills are, here are the top 3 problems that you came here with. Here's the results, which are just the opposite. This is what you need to do about it. The model is, we're going to work on attract, convert, deliver, or the model of your program, however that works, if it's like a 6-week course or an overview thing. Here's how it works logistically. Here's the price, and then in simple CTA. So this is the webinar walkthrough model. We use it for booking calls, and we use it for inviting people into our clients program. It's a structure that works like a champ. What I love about it is it's valuable, it's visual, it's interactive. It's more like a workshop than a webinar, which I love. And if you use it, you're going to be in great shape. There's a bunch of webinar formulas out there. I built this one because that stuff always felt really fake. I want you to notice one thing it doesn't do. It doesn't start with, okay, so let me tell you who I am and what qualifies me to be here with you today. It's bullshit. Nobody cares. And there's nothing worse than sitting through 5 minutes of here's my rented Lamborghini and my glamorous house and my augmented wife and my dog and my perfect, it's just, nobody cares. Don't tell me how great you're going to be. Let me be the judge of the value of the content and the value of you by just getting into the stuff and being useful. That's my personal opinion. Free advice worth every cent. Cool. So listen, if you want a copy of the handouts to sketch out one of your own webinars, then just comment webinar below and I'll hook you up. I hope you have an amazing day. Take good care. I'll talk to you soon.